Nurse accidentally kills millionaire CEO with fatal overdose. His heart stops. But when he regains consciousness and reveals his true identity, her entire life takes a turn no one saw coming. Before we dive into this shocking story, drop a comment telling us which city you're watching from. Emma Rodriguez hadn't slept in a day and a half. Her hands shook as she poured her 7th cup of bitter, burnt coffee in the staff lounge at Metropolitan General Hospital. The emergency room was falling apart, 5 nurses had quit in just 2 weeks, and Emma was now juggling 3 times the number of patients she normally handled. Her scrubs were still smeared with dried blood from a trauma case 3 hours earlier. Strands of hair had slipped out of her ponytail, sticking to her sweaty forehead. She couldn't even remember her last real meal, maybe yesterday morning? Every blink made her vision blurrier. Emma. Room 314 needs morphine, now. Sarah, another exhausted nurse, yelled down the hallway. Emma grabbed the medication cart, her ID badge flapping as she ran. Room 314. Pain meds. She'd done this job so many times it should have been automatic by now. Inside, a middle-aged man lay curled up, groaning and clutching his chest. Emma's foggy brain pegged his pain at an 8 out of 10. She pulled up his chart on the hospital tablet. The order read, morphine 2 mg IV push for chest pain. But through her sleep-deprived eyes, the numbers seemed to blur and swim. She prepped the syringe, 10 mg instead of 2 mg. 5 times the dose. Enough to stop a heart. This will help with the pain, she told him softly as she pushed the morphine into his IV line. She turned to leave. 3 steps toward the door. Then she heard it. A wet, rattling gasp, the kind of sound that freezes any nurse's blood. Emma spun around. His lips were turning blue. His breathing slowed from rapid and painful to terrifyingly sluggish. His chest barely moved. The syringe was still in her hand. She looked at it. Then at the vial. The label screamed back at her, 10 mg per milliliter. Her stomach dropped. Oh my God. Oh my God, what did I do? Her voice cracked. Code blue. Room 314. Code blue. Emma launched herself to his bedside, dropping hard to her knees. She yanked open his gown and pressed her hands to his sternum. 1 compression. 2. She counted out loud, her voice breaking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The crash team burst in. 6 people. A defibrillator cart. The code blue alarm blaring across the floor. What happened? Dr. Martinez barked, taking over compressions. Emma's throat closed. She could barely get the words out. Morphine. I gave him 10 mg instead of 2 mg. It's my fault. I killed him. Epi. 1 mg. Dr. Martinez shouted. Charge to 200. Emma stood frozen against the wall, watching as they shocked his limp body. Once, twice, 3 times. The monitor flatlined with a piercing tone that drilled into her skull. She had killed him. She actually believed she'd killed a patient. Then a tiny blip showed on the monitor, another. A heartbeat rhythm. We've got him back. The respiratory therapist shouted. The man drew ragged breaths, his chest heaving in short, shallow gasps. The monitor began its steady beeping. Alive. Barely, but alive. Dr. Martinez pulled Emma into the hallway. His face was unreadable. Tell me exactly what happened, he said. Emma's whole body trembled. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I misread the chart. I was so tired I couldn't see. I gave him 10 mg when the order was for 2 mg. I almost murdered someone because I couldn't stay awake. Dr. Martinez shut his eyes for a moment. Emma, you're one of our best nurses. But you know what I have to do. I know. Her voice was barely a whisper. I should be arrested. I should lose my license. I ruined someone's life. You're suspended while we investigate. Go home. Don't come back until HR calls you. She didn't go home. Emma sat in her car in the parking garage for 4 hours, sobbing without stopping. 12 years of training, mountains of student loans, every sacrifice she'd made. She felt it all evaporate in one exhausted mistake. 18 hours later her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't pick up. Ms. Rodriguez? This is Karen from HR. The patient in room 314 is awake. He's asking to see you. Can you come in? Her heart dropped. He wants to see me? Why? He didn't say. But he was very insistent. Emma drove back to the hospital in a daze. This had to be it. He was going to press charges. She would face the man she'd nearly killed and listen as he destroyed the rest of her life. Her hand trembled over the door handle of room 314. She could hardly breathe. She pushed the door open. He sat up in bed, pale, weak, but aware. His eyes found hers. "You're the nurse," he rasped. Emma broke down. "I am so sorry. I gave you the wrong dose. I almost killed you. There's no excuse." "What's your name?" he asked quietly. Through her tears she managed, "Emma. Emma Rodriguez." He studied her face for a long moment. "I'm Daniel Harper," he said. "The doctors told me everything. They said you made a medication error. They also said you were the one who called the code. You did the CPR. You saved my life. I almost ended your life," she cried. "But you didn't. You found your mistake and you fought to save me." Daniel paused, still looking at her. "Do you know what I do, Emma?" She shook her head. "I'm the CEO of this hospital." The room spun. Emma grabbed the wall to steady herself. She hadn't nearly killed just any patient, she had almost killed the CEO of the hospital. "I came in through the ER because I had chest pains during a late meeting," he said. "I used a different name because I didn't want special treatment. But lying there, I realized something. This place is falling apart." Emma couldn't find words. Her head was full and numb. Daniel leaned in. "Emma, how long have you worked here?" 7 years. "How long had you been on shift when the mistake happened?" 36 hours. "That doesn't." "When did you last eat?" Her voice shrank. "Yesterday morning. Maybe." "How many patients were you covering?" "About 22. Normally it's 12. Daniel's jaw tightened. "So you were on for a day and a half, covering almost triple your usual load, sleep deprived and starving. Under those conditions, a mistake like that becomes predictable. And when it happened, you did everything to save me. Am I hearing that right?" "I still made the mistake." "Yes, you did. But I've been looking at staffing reports since I woke up. Do you know what I found? You've logged more overtime than any nurse here. You filled in across 3 departments when people called out. You've trained 17 new nurses on your own time because we don't have a real training program. You built a peer support system that cut nurse turnover by 40%. Emma stared. "How do you know all of that?" "Because I've been a terrible CEO, he said bluntly. "I was so focused on budgets I didn't see we were burning our staff out. Your mistake didn't just save my life, it showed me the system is failing everyone." For the next 3 days Daniel refused the VIP suite. He stayed in a regular room to watch how things actually ran. He kept calling Emma in, not as his nurse, but to ask questions. "Tell me about supply shortages," he asked on one visit. She was tired of repeating it, but she told the truth. "Last week we ran out of IV bags. We had to borrow from surgery. The week before, there weren't enough ventilator tubes and 3 ops were delayed." "Has this been reported?" "Many times. We're always told to do more with less." Daniel took notes. "What else?" "The ICU is half-staffed most nights. The ER often has 1 nurse for 25 patients. We're losing experienced nurses every month to burnout." "Why haven't you quit?" Emma met his eyes. "Because someone has to stay and fight for the patients." He closed his tablet. "Emma, I have an offer. Instead of firing you, what if I made you director of nursing operations?" Emma let out a bitter laugh. "Right. I nearly kill the CEO and get promoted. That makes total sense." "I'm completely serious," Daniel said. "You've spotted and fixed problems my entire admin team missed. You've improved staff morale and kept nurses from quitting, without spending a dime. That's real leadership, Emma. I'm just a floor nurse, she replied. I don't have an MBA. You have something more important, he said. You know how this hospital really works. So, will you take the job? Emma's mind spun. A week ago, she was changing sheets and running on burnt coffee. Now the CEO was offering her a leadership position? I need time to think, she murmured. Word spread through the hospital like wildfire. And the reactions? Brutal. So Emma nearly kills someone and gets promoted? Janet from cardiology scoffed in the break room. What kind of message is that? Maybe the message is, a nearby doctor said, that the hospital was already killing people by pushing staff past their limits. Emma's mistake wasn't the disease, it was a symptom. Emma heard the whispers. Every bitter comment. Every judgment. Maybe they were right. Maybe she didn't deserve this. She was on her day off, cleaning patient rooms just to stay busy, when Daniel found her. What are you doing here? He asked. I couldn't sleep. Thought I'd help out. Emma, this is the problem. You're so committed you're burning yourself out. Someone has to do it. Not alone. That's why I want you in administration, to make sure no one else ever carries this weight by themselves. Emma stopped. People are saying I only got the offer because of favoritism. That I'm just covering up a fatal mistake. What do you think? She was quiet for a long moment. Then, I think this hospital is broken. And if no one fixes it, people are going to die. Maybe I can help. Not because I deserve some reward, but because someone has to. Daniel smiled. Now that's the voice of a leader. Emma's first 6 months as director of nursing operations were brutal. Senior management treated her like she didn't belong, just a floor nurse playing executive. Some former coworkers accused her of betrayal, or worse. But Emma had one thing they didn't. She knew what was broken, and exactly where to start fixing it. Her first move? Mandatory rest periods for any nurse working longer than 12 hours. The CFO pushed back immediately. Emma brought the data. Medical errors go up by 300% after 14 hours on shift. Want to talk lawsuit costs? The policy passed. Her second initiative, a full mentoring program for new nurses. 3 months later, retention shot up by 60%. By month 6, something rare was happening. Employee satisfaction was rising. Patient safety hit record highs. For the first time in years, staffing numbers were stable. Emma hadn't just survived her worst mistake. She'd used it to change the system, for everyone. Emma never expected it, but she was falling in love with the man who had seen her potential at her lowest moment. Can I ask you something personal? Daniel said during one of their late-night meetings. Emma looked up from the stack of reports. Go ahead. Do you regret what happened? If the mistake never happened, would you rather still be working the floor? Emma took her time. I regret that you almost died. But do I regret where it led? No. This hospital's safer now. Safer for everyone, including me. Daniel leaned in. Emma, you're still pulling 60-hour weeks. You've made things better for everyone but yourself. She laughed softly. Old habits. No, he said gently. You care so deeply about everyone else that you forget to take care of yourself. You need to start trusting the systems you built. At one of their business dinners, Daniel's tone shifted. He looked at her differently. You know, he said, a year ago I never imagined falling for one of my employees. Emma nearly spit out her wine. Wait, what? I'm in love with you, Emma. Have been for months. She blinked. This is insane. I almost killed you. And you saved me. Not just from the overdose, from being a CEO so out of touch I was letting everything crumble. You changed me. You're the most passionate, brilliant person I've ever known. I love you for exactly who you are. Emma's eyes welled up. I love you too. 1 year after the medication error, Metropolitan General was named the safest hospital in the state. Staff satisfaction was at a record high. The hospital had become a model for others around the country. After presenting her annual safety report, Emma stayed behind in the meeting room, staring out the window. Daniel walked in and wrapped his arms around her. "What are you thinking about?" She smiled. "Just how far everything's come. A year ago I thought I'd lose everything. Now I'm engaged to the CEO and running nursing ops for the whole hospital system." He kissed her forehead. Everything played out exactly how it needed to. "Oh, by the way," he added with a playful smirk, "the board just approved full funding for your Nursing Excellence Center. 5-year plan, no budget limit. You're going to be training nurse leaders nationwide." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "So, my mistake is going to help prevent others across the entire country?" Daniel nodded. "Your mistake woke us all up. Your solutions are going to save lives." 6 months later, Emma walked down the aisle of the hospital chapel in her grandmother's wedding dress. The chapel overflowed with staff, patients, and nurses she'd mentored. "Do you take this woman to be your wife?" the minister asked. "I do," Daniel said. "Through everything, mistakes and victories." "And do you take this man to be your husband?" Emma beamed through tears. "I do, forever." When they kissed, the whole room erupted in cheers and clapping. After their honeymoon, Emma returned to her office and found a note from a night shift nurse. "Ms. Harper, last night I was exhausted and almost gave the wrong medication. But I remembered your training about asking for help when overwhelmed. My partner caught it. No harm done. You saved a life, without even being here. Thank you for showing us it's okay to be human." Emma wiped her tears as Daniel appeared in the doorway. "Ready to go home?" he asked. She smiled at the man she now called husband. "I think I already am. As long as we're doing this together. Because sometimes the biggest mistakes lead to the biggest transformations, not because the mistake was good, but because it forces us to face the truth. And unlock strength we didn't know we had." Emma Rodriguez Harper learned that healing isn't just about medicine. It's about creating systems that lift everyone up and make it safer to be human. What do you think of Emma's journey, from near tragedy to transforming an entire hospital? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more incredible true stories, and rate this one from 0 to 10.